Well, coming up in the fall, of course, we have an election, and it's likely to be a thorny one, especially given the rising debate over mail-in voting. We are joined now by Lou Jacobson. He is PolitiFact senior correspondent, joining us from New York. So, Lou, what is this process going to look like in the fall? How bad is it going to be, for lack of a better word?
Well, I don't know about bad, but it's going to look different for sure. States which really have not had much experience with doing a lot of mail-in voting are going to have many more mail balloting ballots to count this time. And it takes longer. If you walk into a polling place, you file your vote, it's counted immediately. With the mail balloting, they have to verify signatures. They have to feed the ballots sort of one by one through certain machines to get them read. So it takes longer. And what this means is that there's a decent chance that this fall we're not going to have a winner in the presidential race called immediately, sometime in the wee hours of Wednesday morning or so. It's possible if there's a blowout, if there's a huge lead, but if it's relatively close, and that's certainly a possibility, it could take several days to figure out who actually won the presidency.
Hey, Lou, you wrote an article in Politico that caught my attention because you said it could be more like election week than election day. I wonder if you could just very briefly describe some states, they actually accept ballots that come in after election day because it's postmarked. And this is some swing states this year, right?
Yeah, so the states are actually have changed rules for the 2020 election and are continuing to change rules. So I'm not sure of the final list right now, but there are certainly some states which are going to accept postmarked ballots after the day of the election, and those are going to have to wait, obviously, because they won't come in necessarily until a couple of days after the election, and then have to be counted. So we definitely could see certain states voting, still counting ballots after the vote several days later. And if the margins are large enough, then that won't matter. But if it's a close margin, we'll have to wait and see. The other thing that is really interesting and needs to be sort of taken the temperature of by all viewers and voters here is that the early vote may not be the same in terms of the partisan leaning as the later vote. So just because somebody is up based on the in-person voting done on the day of the election or before the election, it doesn't mean that late votes can't overcome that. And so there's a fairly good chance we'll see some shifting of leads from either R to D or D to R, depending on the dynamics of which votes are cast when.
Right. Lou Jacobson, PolitiFact senior correspondent. We got to leave it there, but we will have you back as we get closer to the election. Thank you so much.